Okay, time for the fourth Treehouse of Horror, and it starts with the gravestones. There is a couch gag which features the family as zombies for some reason. So the framing device is that of Night Gallery. This is an old anthology show that was horror based in the 70s or something like that. Anyway, the first story, The Devil and Homer Simpson. This story has Homer who didn't get a donut on his job, and he makes a deal with the devil, who's played by Ned Flanders for some reason, to sell his soul for a donut. Alright, already you can see how funny this situation is. And Homer realizes a clause in this contract, of this Faustian bargain, that if he doesn't eat the donut entirely, he can keep his soul. So you think Homer would just bury the last piece of the donut so he doesn't touch it or is not tempted to touch it, but no, he just puts it in the fridge, like under plastic wrap with Post-its on it. Oh my gosh. So of course Homer eats it, and the devil shows up, and then Marge is there to say, hey, I want a fair trial for him. And then there's this ironic punishment that totally backfires, and man, this is just so funny all around. And then at the trial, there's like a jury of the damned, and guess what? Nixon shows up, and he says he isn't dead yet, but fun fact, he actually died less than a year later. Did the Simpsons predict the future? No, you've got the wrong video series for that. Anyway, this ending to this story is satisfying for two reasons. One is this, and the other is who actually owns Homer's soul. Good all around. This next story, Terror at 5.5 Feet, a clear parody of the classic Twilight Zone episode Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. That one starred William Shatner back in the day, and then it was redone in Twilight Zone the movie with John Lithgow. The premise is pretty much the same. While on the bus, Bart sees that there's a gremlin just trying to tear it up as the bus is in motion. Oh, and the gremlin is actually tearing up King and Kodo's ship as well, so there's their cameo. I don't know why they changed the title from Terror to Nightmare, because honestly, this episode feels like a nightmare in the way the characters are responding to what happens to Bart. It's a surreal element that really adds to the horror, and this might be more horror than comedy, really. As for the last story, it's Bart Simpson's Dracula, and it starts out being a parody of the 1992 film Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, in that film, there's a scene that's a parody in and of itself, where a man stays in the same room with a man who's clearly a force of evil, and it just feels like a huge red flag. In this version, Mr. Burns is the grand vampire, and the Simpsons go to see him in Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh, that's such a crack up. Then the episode kind of switches to this Lost Boys parody, complete with a flying Bart Simpson who's been bitten by the head vampire. I don't know why they switched it up like that, and it really switches up at the ending. I won't spoil this one, but it's actually related to this. Yeah, seriously. So did you watch the Treehouse of Horror 4? Did you like it? Leave a comment below.